You know, since I've been on YouTube and I've spoken about the O.J. Simpson case, I've talked about how rotten the Goldman family has been. Now, as I said in my other videos, I understand they lost a loved one. And it's been 20-something years, and usually that pain, it doesn't go away, but it dissipates. You move on with your life and try to do things. But I told y'all, it's not a day, it's not a week, it's not a month, it's not 6 months, it's not a year. It's every week you hear somebody reference O.J. Simpson. White folk usually. Black folks do it because they feel they have to now. Now, I told y'all that I remember watching that trial, and those of us who are old enough to remember that trial, remember there was a lot of indiscrepancies in that trial. But 20 years of the media constantly browbeating and people taking bits and pieces, and people have selective memories and stuff. Yeah, and then black folks are embarrassed or frustrated about O.J. Simpson antics or alleged antics, because every time the media reports something, it's always true. Black folks have said, O.J. should go sit down somewhere. He should have did this. And I'm like, I thought about it. I just say the same thing. And every now and then I say to myself, wait a minute. He just felt not guilty. You felt not guilty. Live your fucking life. But they met because O.J. had the money to go get good lawyers. Well-known good lawyers. O.J. Simpson was pension is protected. So he said in California they know the laws are geared to fucking over somebody. So he moved to a state where you can't do that. And people don't understand why Florida laws are so different out of all the other states in the country. It's because a lot of criminal behavior. A lot of motherfuckers, if they didn't want to go to offshore accounts, they put their money right there in Florida and it's protected. And the Goldman family, they got some money. They ain't get what they wanted, but they've gotten some money. They've made money off books and speaking engagements. They ain't hurting. Now, Fred Goldman ain't worked in 20-something years. If he has, the job he had or business he owned, let's assume he had a business he owned, guys. You know how most Jewish people get down in this country. That's just extra income on top of his income. You know, this man gets on TV, you can see the hatred in his face. And people say, well, your son get killed, you do it too. I like, yeah, but hatred was in his face way back then. And it seemed like the more O.J. Simpson go on and live, the worse it gets. And maybe that's because he's still alive. But Fred Goldman, it's not about his son. And you can tell it's not about his son because it's about his money. And I notice when white people figure they can't get the justice they want, they say it's going to monetary things. But they'll tell black folk, it shouldn't be about the money. It should be about justice. Now, if y'all think I haven't been called out the Goldmans, type in MRSUPERBOY223 O.J. Simpson. And you'll see the videos pop up. The titles are popped up in the subject of O.J. Simpson. There's one thing I said. The Goldman family are rats. When his sister got on there, got involved in the Trayvon Martin, I'm like, what did Trayvon Martin got to do with you, baby girl? That baby wasn't even born when O.J. Simpson was found guilty. But see, the thing is, or not guilty, I should say. But the media allowed them to get on TV, and a lot of people, black and white, 2 weeks ago saw how petty the media was and the Goldman family was. It had nothing to do with your case. See, what it is, white America can't take them like I did, they lost. This is why every day they've changed. They change laws and do things to make sure black folk don't get another win. Now people keep saying blacks hug their nose, or not their nose, they hopes on O.J. Simpson. No, that wasn't it. The judicial system failed black people for hundreds of years. And you got one motherfucking case where the black guy beat the system and white folk didn't lost their head for the last 20-something years. But what Fred Goldman is doing now is a new low. Now, it wasn't just his son that died that night. Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered that night too. She left two kids behind. And those kids for 20-something years, they're adults now. But just imagine growing up and every day somebody's making jokes at the expense of your dad. Or talk about your daddy killed somebody. Just think about that. And consider they only had minor dust-ups with the oldest daughter and the boy Justin. As far as we know, he stayed out of trouble. But minor them dust-ups. Now Fred Goldman said, "Well, I can't get your daddy, but I'm gonna get your kids." That's some low-down shit. Most people say children is off limits, but see, Fred Goldman, he's playing true to his so-called background. You guys know where I'm going with this. This man is obsessed with that money. It's not about his son. A lot of people forget when Ron first died, it was reported by various news media, and especially here the Chicago media, that Fred and Ron had a strained relationship. And I think maybe the last year or two of Ron's life, they started to get back acquainted with each other. Because remember, the Goldmans are originally from the Chicago area. Fred moved, I think, because of a job offer in California, or some family issues that was going on. I forget what part of the story that exactly what happened. But I know that Ron and Fred was not on speaking terms like Fred and his sister would make y'all believe. But nonetheless, people have given the Goldmans a wide berth. They let them get on TV and shed their crocodile tears. I'm telling y'all, and I told y'all, and thank God one of my fellow YouTubers put up a clip of Fred Goldman. A lot of y'all said, we didn't know that Fred Goldman was just talking like that. And I said, I told y'all, 20 years of people editing selective shit. Half the shit y'all have not heard or seen come out of the media or out of the Goldman's mouth. I'm telling you, there's interviews where he got almost called Leo Burrell or Johnny Cochran, any black person. I'm telling you, he's done it. I remember it. Geraldo Rivera, one, they had to try to clean up what he was about to say. He said, "These nincompoops, right, Fred?" Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'll never forget that. But thanks to these media companies trying to scrub all the language that they've used, this is why I say when you guys watch TV, y'all gotta watch it with discernment. Y'all gotta listen to it, but then you need to use common sense. But I feel vindicated now, pointing out what the Goldmans have been on for years. I told y'all this was about money. It wasn't about Ron. They didn't give a fuck about Ron. They grieved already. It's about the money. It's about they trying to get OJ. We gotta get that nigga money. That's what it is, because everything they talk about the civil judgment. And anybody with any common sense knew that when O.J. Simpson found not guilty, they was going to find guilty of the civil trial. When that judge sent O.J. Simpson to jail for going to get his own shit back, you can look at her face and tell that she did it. Because the motherfuckers will get you in 95. We're going to get you now. See, and this gets me about white folk, or certain white folk. They want to encourage or cheer black folks when black folks say, "I forgive you. God gave me the strength." And anybody told the Goldmans, it's been 20-something years. Time to move. Don't you move on. Let God deal with it. Oh, how dare you? He took my shot away from me. But this motherfucker is going after O.J. Simpson kids who also are victims of a crime. See, he figured, well, they're adults now. See, you couldn't do it when they was kids, because they look too tacky. But I want y'all to listen to this real quick, and I'll give you the rest of my commentary.
Other news today, questions are being raised about the real estate investments of O.J. Simpson's children, Sydney and Justin, who were upstairs asleep at their home when their mother was murdered in 1994. The pair have growing real estate holdings, and the attorney for the family of murder victim Ronald Goldman wants to know how they got the money to pay for the property.
Does O.J. Simpson, due to be released on parole in October, have a secret real estate empire? Thank you. His 28-year-old son Justin and 31-year-old daughter Sydney and his children with slain wife Nicole have been reportedly buying up real estate in Florida. The New York Post reports that the Simpsons have paid cash for 13 rental properties in St. Petersburg, Florida since 2015. Now, Fred Goldman, father of Ron Goldman, who was murdered along with Nicole, wants to know if any of the money came from O.J. Simpson. If it did, Goldman may be able to claim it as part of the $33 million judgment he won in a wrongful death lawsuit against Simpson. Goldman family attorney David Cook.
when people buy property with cash, the first thing you say, what's the source of cash? And in this setting, it causes you to start asking questions.
If they are, in fact, homes paid for by OJ, what happens next?
We would go through legal process and seize these homes and provide for their sale or liquidation and remit the money to Fred.
The properties range in price from a modest $35,000 for an apartment in this building and $95,000 for this duplex to $215,000 for this 4-unit apartment house. Justin and Sydney were raised by their father after he was acquitted of murdering their mom and Ron Goldman. They were not at his parole hearing, but they remained loyal to their dad. And get this, Sydney's 28-year-old boyfriend is running for political office. Robert Blackman wants a seat on St. Petersburg City Council.
We need to make sure we protect our environment.
He launched his campaign with a fundraiser at this seafood restaurant. He says Sydney is selflessly supporting me on the campaign trail.
Thank you.
O.J. Simpson will be released about a month before Election Day, but he won't be eligible to vote.
When asked if he thinks his girlfriend's connection to O.J. Simpson will hurt his campaign, Blackman says he'll let the voters decide for themselves.
Now let me go backwards. Sydney got a boyfriend. She's 31, he's 28. He's running for public office. What do that guy got to do with O.J. Simpson besides fucking O.J. Simpson's daughter? Now, if the people of Florida or that area don't vote against, if this guy got the potential to be a good leader or whatever, and they say, well, we can't vote for you because you fucking O.J. Simpson's daughter, that means you penalizing Sydney for something that her father may have not done. And then the Goldmans, they know, first of all, I'm deeply insulted as a black person how people question how we get our money. First of all, let me break it down. Let me break down real estate to y'all real quick. And I've talked about this before, and I've talked about getting into it, but it's not as easy as everybody think it is. And if you don't have the money, or if you don't find the right investment property, you can get yourself in a ton of trouble. First of all, a lot of people don't understand their communities, they got depreciated property. You got some places where you can buy a building as low as $1. Yes, you have to buy that building, upkeep it, get up to code and whatnot. You got people in Detroit, they got property in Detroit they selling for $1 because it's destituted. A lot of the buildings have been torn down, but you got to pay the taxes on that property. Nowadays, people who have disposable income are buying properties, rental properties. Now, let's just say Justin and Sydney, they mama, now mind you, O.J. Simpson is a rich person. He's wealthy. You don't think that when those kids was born, their mama have some type of life insurance policy in place. So when she died and they reach a certain age, that money went. Or they grandparents on the Brown side of the family. Or their father got a pension. They can't touch it. So their father saying, hey, my kids got to live. Hell, Justin and Sydney, this is the amount of money you get allowance per month. And these kids say, wait a minute, if I'm getting this money, I'm going to invest it. That's what a smart person would do. So they see a 4-unit and it's $50,000. And they turn around, go put some paint up, get some cabinets up, go fix the bathroom and make sure the plumbing and the roof is nice. You can turn around, rent it out. We're in this area of Florida. It might be an upcoming area where rent may be anywhere from $850 to $1,000 and something dollars. You stack that paper up. You go say, hey, I see another property. Then you turn around, you do that. That's how you build your income up. But see, Fred Goldman and white folks said, these niggas, they shouldn't be able to think that way. So we got to figure out how they're getting their money. So your ass couldn't get the daddy, so now you're going after his kids. These are some rotten people. I mean, look at Justin. They said the other day they did a report. I knew they was going to go after Justin the other day. And Sydney, when they said that Sydney, I forget what she does, but I know Justin's successful in real estate. He's a real estate broker. He gonna know the ins and outs. They say he's a successful real estate broker. They put his profile and everything up. Now you didn't go after the older two because it'd been too obvious. Like Goldman's going after two blacks. Let's go after the mix. Let's go after the mulatto kids. Let's go after O.J. Simpson young kids who lost a mother. Their mother didn't die of cancer or a heart attack or a car accident. Their mother was murdered. And Fred and his lawyers, they won't stop. These so-called Jewish motherfuckers, they money crazed. You cross one, they don't stop. They don't stop until they destroy you. Look how they motherfuckers bitching about, Jay-Z said the Jewish community, they buy property. We know they do that. Back during the Civil Rights Movement, what did they tell black folk? Let us work behind the scenes. We go in, we'll buy the properties and we'll rent them to you. We'll sell them to you. 1967, fuck you niggas. Go to New York. I visited New York one time, and I said, I can't live here. They got too much control up in here. Not to say that all Jewish people are bad, and not to say that the Jewish people here in Illinois don't got the issues, but when you got what is money crazed, they don't stop. Now y'all can call that being racist or judgmental or prejudice or whatever. It's truth. If you don't believe me, watch all the lawsuits to make these major lawsuits come out. And first thing, as soon as they love or die, they go get a lawyer. They retain a lawyer with the quickness. But they'll tell black folk, good, you're forgiving them people that did this murder to your family. They cheering and gas you up. But nobody told Fred, we know your son was murdered. And we believe OJ did it, but the court spoke. Back up a little bit. Nah, you're going after OJ Simpson kids now, man. And they doing it now because they want OJ to react. Because any father that sees somebody going after his kids, they're going to react with anger. How do they get their money? That's their money. And they doing any other red-blooded Americans do. Invest. How they get their money? It's the reason why OJ moved to fucking Florida where you can't fuck with his pension. And if he giving his kids money, that's his business. But they said, no, we're going to go after your kids, OJ. See, they're adults now. We can fuck it. They not kids anymore. So you're sympathetic to Fred and Kim, but you're not sympathetic to Justin and Sydney. See, they see niggas. They don't see half-breeds. They see niggas. And Sydney can go get her white boyfriend all she want. She can get that and look at it, the more weight she gained, look at her. Justin look just like his goddamn father with his receding hairline. But you got to be a low-down motherfucker to go after somebody's kids who was also victims of it. Kato Caitlin, all these motherfuckers have made money. The Goldmans, they've all made money off two dead people. And nobody wants to like, damn, Fred, we know your son died. Is it about the money? If anybody would say, hey, Fred, you'd be a champion, a good person out there to speak to victim rights, to how the judicial system was fucked over grieving families. Fred could have easily went there and said, hey, you know what? Those black people who not getting justice, hey, I sympathize with you. His daughter, no, they got too much racial hate. I'm telling y'all, the Goldmans have proved me right time and time again. And like I said, those of you who've been following me, when I do talk about this, and I wasn't the only one to talk about it, but I've been more consistent than anybody out here in black YouTube talking about it. Tariq Nasheed has talked about it, but I've been out here talking about it like, yo, man, it's a reason why the Goldmans keep doing what they doing. They got a fucking audience. The media, they hungry for this shit. They want to see OJ pay and any other black person pay. That's why I kept telling y'all last year. I said a white jury found Nate Parker not guilty. It had to be something not there for them to let a brother walk once a white woman accused him of a sex crime. But what did they do? They went out there and got black gays, black women, and white racist whites to go after Nate. And when they did, they sabotaged this film. We did what we had to do. They ain't said nothing else about Nate Parker, have they? They see, I keep telling y'all, since Mike Tyson started having issues all the way through, they said we got to have a new nigga of the month. See, Michael Jackson is dead. They got control of his state. They trying to just go after Bill Cosby. Rumor has his lawyer want to leave. They going after R. Kelly now. I know people gonna say, well, R. Kelly, those are consenting adults until they can find some proof that he did something criminal. They just fucking with R. Kelly now. I told y'all every month they gotta have a new nigga of the month. Now you notice they didn't say nothing about Usher passing the disease around. That should have been more scandalous than anything. Passing sexually transmitted diseases around. They didn't talk about that. It's certain stories they fixate on. If something involves them, they don't stop until they get public opinion on their side. I am sick and tired of seeing Fred and Kim Goldman on TV. In fact, I'm starting sick and tired of anybody associated with O.J. Simpson trial. Because all these motherfuckers have made money on both sides, more so on the Goldman side of the trial than anything. Kato Kalin, opportunists. You were standing at O.J. Simpson's house, you turn around, stabbed in the back. But depending on where you at, he had to defend O.J. Then when he realized, well, I can't get caught defending the nigga. So let me say, I think O.J. did it. He got away with murder. See, white folk in this country, whether they liberal, conservative, they don't like losing to a black person. And especially if that black person actually did something. But see, I often say this. I can't wait for the day when science fiction and science reality meet up. And somebody builds a time machine. You know they're going to go see. They're going to go see who killed JFK. And they're going to go see who killed Nicole Brown Simpson. That's how they got this up in their head. They don't want to see nothing else. They want to see who killed JFK and who killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. But for Fred and his lawyers to go after O.J. Simpson kids, yo, that's low down. This dude, you can see the hatred in this man. I'm telling y'all, I can see it. I remember in the 90s watching interviews of this dude. And he came across as bullish. He came across as arrogant. I mean, he talked down about the black community. Like, here it is. My parents wasn't on a jury. Me and my brother wasn't on a jury. My aunts and uncles wasn't on a jury. But you want us all in a group. The black community, they just don't understand. This is what he said, like we're Geraldo Rivera and them. Bill O'Reilly, they pushed it like the black community understand the judicial system. We understand the judicial system. Y'all have benefited from it for hundreds of years and still do. But when y'all got that one loss, y'all can't let it go. This man is going after O.J. Simpson children. You can't get O.J. Simpson just after your kids. How do they get their money? We don't ask nobody else how they make their money in this country. It's funny. You got white men and white women can go buy shit, get government set aside. Nobody question how they do it. But the niggas go get it. We need to know where they get their money from. Inside Edition, well, you know, they the prices and stuff. They have this property, they have that property. Now Sydney boyfriends running for office. They trying to destroy anybody connected to that family. They want that family on an island to themselves. And remind y'all, Justin and Sydney are victims too now. Justin they don't do interviews with Justin. They said they're loyal to their dad. That's their daddy. Of course they're gonna be loyal. There are a lot of people that got parents that may have done something or in a fucked up situation. It's still family. They are shocked that black kids can be loyal to their parents. See, I would love to get an interview with Fred Goldman. I would love to say, hey, Fred, when the trial was going on, it was reported that when y'all lived in, I think they lived in Buffalo Grove or suburb, one of the western suburbs, that you and Ron had a strange relationship for a long period of time. Watch Fred. He watch his face turn around, that goose neck. What that got to do? Yeah, it has a lot to do with it because right now you run around milking your son's death. I guarantee if you support Fred Goldman tax returns for the last 20 years, I guarantee you he's gotten money, he's getting paid from writing books and going public, doing all these different things. 2 weeks ago, a segment of America, white and black, saw the Goldmans for what they were. CNN, MSNBC, and Fox and them, of course they're going to side with the Goldmans. It's about rates for them. They want them rates for the 90s, and it never happened again. As a black man, I'm insulted. People don't think that black folk can buy shit. Let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I got me well, 3 weeks ago now, I got an upgrade in a vehicle, right? I pay my bills. I pay where I lay my head at first. I pay my bills. And anybody knows you, if you got good credit, especially you got excellent credit, people gonna let you know, hey, you entitled to this, you can do this, you can do that. I was told when I went to the car dealership, they said, look, most of the new vehicles they make now, 3-4 years tops. Most people, they got a car payment 4-5 years tops, right? Well, if you got excellent credit and they offer you, they want you to trade your vehicle in, you're gonna trade your vehicle in. The woman told me, she said, you don't have to keep your vehicle for 2.5 years. She said, no. That's we tell people that who got okay credit. You got credit where keep your vehicle a year and a half, get the hell out and get you a new one. And I'm like, oh wow, I'll be back in a year. Give me another upgrade. I get offers all the time. It's funny how when you got your shit order, all of a sudden credit card company that would have never sent you anything offering you, oh, we'll give you an $8,000 limit. We'll give you a $10,000 limit. I don't need that kind of, don't get me wrong. It's nice to know you got that kind of card, those cards in your wallet and shit. But if you're a young person and you don't know what to do, they'll give it to you. It can cause you to have bad credit and fucked up shit. But if you're a black person who's of a certain age, you say, you know what, I went through my 20s fucking up my money. I ain't gonna do this in my early 40s. I'm about to take that money and use that money or this access to buy shit. They don't like that. That's why the army or the military got it where you can't buy a home or you can't buy commercial property with your VA loan. At one time, they didn't give a fuck, but when they realized a lot of brothers was buying multi-units and shit and turning that money and making profit off that, see, they like, oh, we can't have them niggas. No. See, when the white boys is coming home from World War II and Korea and Vietnam, wherever they done their contracts, they didn't care. But when black folks start realizing how to move our money around shit, they change the laws around. Why did they change your bankruptcy laws and shit? See, when we find out how to use the system to our advantage, they get pissed off and they got to move the goalposts. If they can't get you in court on a criminal charge, let's get them civilly. So you be tied up for the rest of your life. Why do you think now jobs don't even want to hire you if you got bad credit? Why do you think jobs are going to your social media trying to find what you like and do? Because they don't want to lose their money, or they don't want to get caught up in shit, or they don't want to have their payroll department trying to figure out what money goes to what. See, everything's about money in this country, on this planet. And when black folks start to really figure out how to move their money, these motherfuckers getting scared. They get nervous that you're going to live better than them. And the idea that O.J. Simpson's 31-year-old daughter and 28-year-old son is able to buy property, they're like, where these niggas getting that money from? O.J. must got a secret empire. Well, O.J., if he got a pension, and they can't touch his money, and O.J. said, I want to go buy, I'm going to tell my kids while I'm in jail, you got a lumps, you get such amount, you go buy this property. That's called being smart. That's leaving something for his kids and his grandkids. See, this is why I encourage my brother said, I said, you gotta be 27 ahead of these motherfuckers. Now, if you're not a racist person, then I'm not talking about y'all. But I'm telling you, Fred Goldman, people like him, these motherfuckers, they wake up in the morning. We gotta stop these niggers. I'm telling y'all, if y'all can go find any clips of Fred Goldman in them interviews, it's very telling. But now you got your lawyers going after O.J. Simpson kids. They lost their mother too now. You ain't the only one that lost somebody. Ain't nobody clamoring to do interviews with Justin and Sydney. Ain't nobody, and even if they did, they wouldn't give them to them because they know what the media did to their daddy, what their media's done to them. At first, Justin and Sydney aunts on their mother's side didn't give no interviews. But once they hit their teenage years, they needed some money. And he's like, how they gonna go be with their dad? Remember, they only got one parent. They're gonna be loyal to their dad. And plus, they know what daddy got money. He got a pension. That's protected. O.J. Simpson is 70 years old. He's 70 years old. He may outlive all of us. We don't know. But he want to leave. So if he's giving his kids an allowance or helping them buy property, that's his money. That's protected in Florida. But the thing is, how they getting money? That's an insult. They invested in real estate. See, they don't think that black folk can think. They don't think that we know how to use our credit. They don't think that we know how to sit back and borrow. You see, that's the problem. This is why I get mad at us. We're too busy cutting each other's throat. These motherfuckers are always plotting. Every day, Fred Goldman goes like, well, how many O.J. Simpson millions today? How many get his money? Every time they do an interview, they always talk about the goddamn silver judgment. But they have another ex-black families. Well, you're doing this. Is it about the money? What are you going to do with the money? How are you going to spend the money? It's $3 million enough to bring. They did this with the Goldmans. How is the Goldman murder more tragic than anybody else's? Here, this Emmett Till mutilated picture has been seen all over the globe for 60-something years. And then when his mother was alive, they didn't even give her that kind of respect in the media. They just flash image. They know that traumatized that woman over and over again. But they won't show you, but they want you to have sympathy for the Goldmans. Like I said, when I first heard about it, I'm like, man, that's a bad way to go. My prayers go out to them. My prayers simply go out to anybody that loses a life, whether it be a car accident, heart attack, cancer, or natural causes, murder. I'm just a human being. But when I started the trial, the Goldmans was acting, and they was overacting. They knew every time the cameras got on them, hyperventilating and everything. I'm like, really? You know when somebody's hamming it up for the camera. But then when I heard Fred Goldman, the things that come out of his mouth, and the things his daughter was saying, and then y'all saw that clip, and Sister Nicole put up. And a lot of y'all like, damn, I didn't know that he was nice. I told y'all. See, a lot of y'all was, even my age, was not paying attention. Y'all was getting like the Cliff Notes. Oh, I watched the recap at the news. Y'all wasn't paying attention to what people were saying. I told y'all the Goldman stopped being sympathetic in my eyes 20-something years ago. Now you're going after the man kids. You low down, and that tells you it wasn't about run. It's about your pockets. Because if Fred and his daughter really gave a damn about victims' rights and shit, they would be standing with families across America. They'd be the first ones advocating for justice. If instead of Kim attacking Trayvon and criticizing the black community, she would have been behind the black community saying, hey, you know what? Trayvon deserves justice. This is a child, like my brother was taken away at a young, blah, blah, blah. She didn't do that. Last week, we saw how Jeffrey Tubman, the one that coined the term race car that I keep hearing black folks use, he's another so-called Jew. O.J. Simpson don't have no remorse. He was found not guilty. If he said he didn't kill, why should he go around hold his head down? I'm not an O.J. Simpson fan or a sycophant, but my thing is, I don't like double standards. I mean, every time I turn around, it's goddamn music, TV show, comic book, animation. Comic books, folks. Animation. How many times has the Family Guy done an O.J. Simpson joke? This shit gets tired. Turn on TV. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. And we in the black community, we didn't got cowed. We don't push it like, wait a minute. Y'all like O.J. Simpson been the only one on this planet that been accused of a crime. But y'all didn't say nothing about them cops that got away with beating Rodney King. Y'all don't fuck with them. Y'all let them have their space. That P.I.A. killed that brother in New York. Y'all, all them Asians that came across America came out. Y'all didn't call them out for that. But y'all want to go back and judge black folks for cheering in certain parts of the country because we saw what was going on in 1995. But I'm gonna tell you something. As a black man sitting here, just proves our point that brothers have been saying for years. They go after our women and children. They can't get to the man. You go after the women and children, and they going after O.J. Simpson children, regardless of them being adults. How they get their money? O.J. Simpson kids can't work, or they can't have money set aside. They don't have a trust fund. Now they feel we gotta go after. We're gonna know how they got their money. What do Fred Goldman do for a living? What do Kim Goldman do for a living? Kim is divorced. Why is she divorced? Let's stop looking into the Goldman background. Let's stop looking into all these motherfuckers. Marsha Clark, Christopher Darden, and all of them. F. Lee Bailey and Dershowitz and all these motherfuckers. Motherfuckers who made money off their trials, who are alive, who are not pissing and shitting on Johnny Cochran's grave. He dead. He can't defend himself. We're making money. O.J. Simpson guilty. O.J. Simpson did this. O.J. Simpson making money if I did it. There are a lot of people who wrote dumbass books or said stupid things. But somehow the world supposed to stop spending for the Goldman family? Like I said, they not victims anymore. They not victims. They ain't been victims for a long time. And I've been telling y'all about the Goldmans. And once again, I'm proven right. Fred Goldman is evil. I'm telling y'all, the man is racist as fuck. We know the man lost his son. We know that a father, that degree. Like, y'all don't give a fuck about Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's son was murdered. Y'all done said, let's ease up on Mr. Cosby. The man lost his son 20 years ago. Hell, they don't even mention that, but every time you turn around, Fred Goldman's son, Ronald Goldman, he was an aspiring actor. He was a handsome dude. Think about that shit for a second.